Class, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a wonderful, enjoyable weekend. Today's May 4. Today we're going to finish talking about some situations dealing with the Constitution that the United States is facing today, more the current event side of the Constitution. Our agenda for today is first, you have a test tomorrow, Tuesday. I have posted on Google Classroom Quizlet and Kahoot reviews, as well as other materials for you to study with. So you have a regular Quizlet. You also have a Quizlet specific for later amendments. I'll talk more about that in a second. And another Kahoot quiz. I'll give you some details on that quiz test in just a second too. We're then going to do a little bit of review of what you did last week, Thursday, Constitution and Us, dealing with those 4 different situations. And then I'm adding a 5th one, and you're going to write a paragraph about a 5th situation titled The Constitution and Cake. So your homework, finished by 3 p.m. today, is that quick write, full paragraph, and then making sure you're ready for tomorrow's test. First, for tomorrow's test, it will be open note. Your Chromebook will be locked if you use a Chromebook for this class. There are going to be 2 parts of this test. So the first part is going to be locked. The second part will not be. The second part just focuses on the Bill of Rights. I will not lock your Chromebook for that part of the test. It'll be a separate Google form because I would like you to use your Bill of Rights graphic organizer to help you do it. So that's why the Bill of Rights portion of the test is not locked. This will be part of your test grade. It's just posted separately. The other ones will include some multiple choice and some extended response. There are going to be 2 questions that I'm going to show you later in this video. One is about later amendments. The other one is about some tension between the Constitution and the Bible. I will give you those questions word for word at the end of this video, so please make sure you watch the entire thing so you're prepared. Just make sure you have your notes available in a different way. Since this is a test and since there's 2 parts of it, I'm going to extend the deadline. Usually things are due at 3, and normally they will be. But I'm going to give you until 5 p.m. tomorrow to finish both parts of the test. So feel free to work on it whenever you have time. Give yourself a good chunk of time to do this. I'm not thinking it's going to take you like an hour or something like that. It should definitely take you less. But if you want to finish your other work first and then use 3 to 5 to finish my test, however you want to do it, it's totally up to you. Just make sure both parts are done by 5. So last week we went through some situations. I have graded those. I left some comments for you. Most of the comments were just asking you to more fully answer the situation, which is how I graded all of these. As long as you answered thoughtfully and completely, you explained yourself sufficiently, you got 5 points. I did not grade you based on what you thought, unless the ideas you wrote about had nothing to do with the situation at all. It was just irrelevant. I just want to pose some questions to challenge you to think further. Usually this is something we do in class discussion. We can't do that with this situation, so I'm just going to pose some questions for further thought in this video. For this first one about the census question, the questions you got to think about is 1, what right to privacy do citizens have? Right, this is not in the 4th Amendment, but maybe this is a right that could be extended from the 9th Amendment. The rights that some people have that aren't directly stated. The second thing you've got to think about, what is the government going to do with this question if people answer that they are not legal? Is the government going to seek to use this information against them? Right, that maybe isn't legal to do. Should they be able to do that? Maybe is a different question. That's up to you. Third is, if that's the case, do you think that certain citizens will then lie? Or specifically those who aren't citizens, will they fill out the survey, say they're citizens but actually aren't? And if that skews the data, like some people argued that this would skew the data, others argued it would be more accurate, what do you think would happen? And if it would skew the data and make it misleading, then is it worth doing at all? So just some questions for you to think about. For the second one, this idea of kneeling during the anthem, first just some background information. The reason why Colin Kaepernick, who was the person who started this, he used to be an NFL quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. The reason why he did this was he was passionate about this stuff. He actually received permission from a Marine to do this, and the Marine said this is the best way to do it and what he deemed to be respectful. Now realize that's the opinion of one Marine. There are plenty of people who served in our armed forces who find this to be disrespectful to do during the national anthem. Some things for you to think about. Is there a different way for them to do this? If so, what would that be? And second, is this disrespectful to troops to kneel during the anthem, because what they're kneeling for is justice and equality, and aren't those the things the flag also stands for? Isn't that why those people fight? No, it's a little difficult to figure out whether it should be, and then does that even matter? Whether it should or not. Does the fact that it does offend people make a difference whether it should or not? All things to consider, and a lot of those things apply to other social justice issues as well, and how people protest. Third one, I think the issue is the Constitution says if you're born here, you're to become a citizen, but the parents weren't. A lot of you talked about, well, we should make it the parents become citizens. Well, will that, one, encourage more illegal immigration? Is that good or bad? And then two, the process of citizenship is not quick and easy, and I think a lot of you think it is. It costs a bit of money, right, hundreds of dollars, and it takes months to do, if not over a year. If we have all of these people then trying to become citizens because we've made this policy, chances are the policy will take even longer because there's going to be more people going through the citizenship application process. Should we make it easier for the parents to do it than others? And once again, if we make it easier than others, is that fair? Will that encourage more illegal immigration? Then also, if the children have it and the parents don't, are we going to split the two up until they become citizens? I think a lot of you think that the idea of becoming a citizen is something easy and that everybody can do it no matter what. That's not the case. That's not reality, and you need to have a clearer understanding of the situation before you come up with your opinion on this. Then the last one is the one I really want to talk about. It's this idea of religious freedom. Should organizations, companies, businesses, whatever, have religious freedom if their religious freedom discriminates, and by discriminate we mean refuse service, to certain people groups, whether that's based on sexuality or something else? For example, if WMC was forced by the state of Michigan to accept Muslims into their school, is that constitutional to force WMC, a Christian school, to accept Muslims? Are we discriminating against Muslims? Who gets religious freedom here? Especially considering the fact that students, Muslims, could go to a different school. No one's required to go to a private school. Similarly, LGBT families could receive adoption services from other agencies who will allow them. It's not like they have to go through Bethany Christian Services or St. Vincent Catholic. That's going to take us in to what I want to talk about in today's. And this time, instead of you just posting your thoughts, you're going to have a little bit of interaction. Since we can't specifically do this together in person, you're going to be responding to each other's posts. We usually do this on our blog site. We're just going to do this through Google Classroom this time around. So here's the situation. The Constitution and Cake in June 2018, so it's been over a year. The Supreme Court ruled 7-2 in favor of Jack Phillips, who was the owner of a cake shop, Masterpiece Cake Shop, in Colorado. They won this against the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, who was representing a homosexual couple, Charlie Craig and David Mullins. Charlie and David went to this cake shop, asked this owner to bake them a cake for their wedding. Once again, they are a homosexual, they are a gay couple. The cake shop owner said no, because this was against his religious beliefs, making a wedding cake for this couple. You are more than welcome, once again, to research more about what happened in this case, about maybe reasons why the Supreme Court ruled the way it did. Once again, they ruled in favor of Jack Phillips, the owner of the cake shop. What I want you to think about is which side is right. Once again, just like with the previous situation, nobody is forcing this couple to use this cake shop. With that being said, is it quote, Christian, end quote, for the cake shop owner to say no to this couple. I'm asking you to think about is what does Christ-like love look like here? Does love mean making the cake shop owner even if you disagree with gay marriage? Which, by the way, so like when I was in high school, it would have been borderline unanimous for the people in my high school class to say that homosexual marriage is wrong. Today, there are plenty of people who are Christian and believe in Christ who say gay marriage is fine. Whether you agree or not is something that you'll have to figure out. I'm not going to tell you what to think. So there's a lot to unpack here, a lot to consider. I'd like you to explain in a full paragraph what you think, answer this question, explain using multiple reasons why you think the way you do. Consider this tension between what does the Constitution say versus how should Christians act. The Constitution is clearly the law of the United States. But the Bible should be the law in our Christian hearts, and sometimes the Constitution allows things that the Bible says we shouldn't do or shouldn't be allowed. There's a tension there, so consider that. This will be a homework grade. It's due 3 p.m. today. 2 questions that will be on your test. 1, there is a Quizlet about later amendments after the Bill of Rights. You need to tell me which one after the Bill of Rights you think has been the most important. One caveat, one kind of rule for this is you may not choose the amendment that you did for your presentation. So I put a Quizlet with all the amendments your class did, so you can study all the different ones that other people did. You're just not allowed to choose the one that you did for the presentation. Make sure you've got multiple reasons and examples for why you chose the one you did. Once again, it can't be your own. Second question that'll be on your test, and there'll be more than this, I'm just giving you these 2 ahead of time, is the idea that 1 Corinthians 6:12 is that we have rights to do anything, but not everything's beneficial. We have the rights to do anything. However, you should not be mastered by anything. The Constitution is full of rights, specifically the Bill of Rights. However, there are certain things the Constitution allows you to do that are not beneficial and that shouldn't master us. Think about an example of this tension. It can't be something that you've already done in class that I've provided for you. Example where the Constitution and the Bible kind of contradict each other. And then explain how a Christian should respond in that situation. And reference 1 Corinthians 6:12 in your answer. If you have questions about what I'm asking for here, please ask me before tomorrow, so that way I can help you ahead of time. Otherwise, get that quick write done, prepare for that test. If you have questions, please let me know. I will talk to you more tomorrow.